If you guys have questions on the bike, ask Aaron. Link in description below. What's up, Blockheads? Today we're going to be doing a test ride on the brand new 2019 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 or 883, however you decide to say it. Now, before we get too far into it, if you guys enjoy stuff like this, motorcycle content, test rides, installs, reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon as well so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Woo woo!
What up, Blockhead? When you gonna ride one of my customs, bro? Wanna ride this one next?
Maybe, yeah.
Let me know, it's all yours.
So starting out with some specs and pricing for the 2019 Harley-Davidson Iron 883. Well, the Iron 883 starts at $89.99 and goes up to $98.99 for a two-tone custom color option. You can also get it with ABS and a security system. Now, the engine is an air-cooled Evolution engine, which, as the name tells you, is 883 cc's or 53.9 cubic inches, which is electronic fuel injected and has black exhaust headers and black mufflers, 2-2. The length of the bike is 86 inches, seat height is 29.9 inches, it has a 5.5 inch ground clearance, a 30-degree rake, the wheelbase is 59.6 inches, front tire is a 190/19, and the rear tire is a 150/80/16. It has a 3.3 gallon tank, takes 2.8 quarts of oil, dry weight is 545 pounds, wet weight 564 pounds. In terms of performance, the engine has 53.8 foot-pounds of torque at 3,750 RPMs. It has a right lean angle of 27 degrees, a left lean angle of 28 degrees, and estimated fuel economy gets about 51 miles per gallon. The front and rear wheel are both 9-spoke black wheels with machined highlights. It has a handlebar-mounted gauge with the electronic speedometer with odometer, time-of-day clock, dual trip meter, low fuel warning light, low oil pressure light, engine diagnostics readout, and LED indicator lights.
So yeah, you guys just got the tech specs on the 2019 Iron 883. Not a ton of changes. They got some new paint options. This one, it's got that nice gray metallic. Can't remember what the name of the paint scheme is. I'll drop it right here. Updated the logo on the side. A lot of people thought that the paint was actually chipped on some of them, but it's just this distressed type font. So it's got the 883cc Evolution engine in it, the Blockhead. This is the bike that I started out on. Single disc front brake, built on the right, dual exhaust, mid controls, standard headlight, single gauge up top, which we'll go through the functionality of that here in just a minute. 2 shocks on the outside, unlike the Softails, which are monoshock on the inside. So we're gonna leg up. Key on the side, it's in neutral. All right. So to give you guys some of my backstory, if y'all are new here to the channel, so I started out on one of these bikes. One of my first street legal bikes was I think it was a 2013 Harley-Davidson Iron 883. That's what basically started the channel. Now the name of this engine, it's called the Evolution engine. People shorten that down to Evo. Now Harley does have a bunch of different names for the engines, right? So, or people give them names. Like I'm sure you guys have heard of like the pan head or the iron head, the shovel head, stuff like that, right? So whenever this engine came out, people would call it the Blockhead. But the thing about it is that it didn't stick because it was already called like an easy name with the Evolution, right? The name Evolution. So people just called it the Evo. So the Blockhead name kind of died. And so whenever I started the channel, since I started on an Iron 883 and it was an Evolution / Blockhead engine, that's where the name of the channel came from. Fun fact. So yeah, I started out on 883, ended up purchasing a Yamaha R6 600cc bike. Like I said, just kind of give you guys some of my backstory. I ended up trading the 883 in for a 2017 Dyna Lowrider S, which is a 110 cubic inch, and then traded my R6 for a CBR 1000 RR, which is 1000cc Super Sport, and then traded that for 2 Honda Groms for me and Miss Blockhead. So current bikes that I own, 2017 Dyna Lowrider S 110 and a Honda Grom. And I've done test rides for tons of bikes for Harley-Davidson. So dude, So while the bike is warming up, just kind of go over the controls. Pretty traditional for Harley-Davidson. Right side here, you have your on-off switch. Up top, you have your hazards. Down at the bottom there, you have your starter. And on the right side, you have your right indicator. The left side over here, we have our selection switch up top, which I'll be going over the functionality of that here in just a minute. Down on the bottom, we've got our horn. Beep. Up top, you got your high beam. Press down, you got your low beam, and then if you press in and let go, it's basically a pass light, or what they call a pass light. So you can flash it at somebody if you want to pass. And then below that, you have your left indicator as well. Mirrors up top. First free modification that most people do is they take these mirrors, take them off, and then you put the right one underneath on the left side and the left one underneath on the right side. Basically inverted mirrors, you put them down low. Because with these mirrors, since the bars aren't like real super wide or anything, like I'm actually looking at my arm in this one and my arm in that one. So you gotta kind of do like this. It's called like the mirror lean. It's no fun. So yeah, this is a 883cc engine. It's not gonna be like the most, you know, fast, like ripping badass Harley out there. But if you're looking to get into Harley, you know, as like a starter bike, it was one of my starter bikes. I absolutely love the Sportster line. It's freaking great. There's tons of aftermarket modifications you can do to them. Something. Yeah, tons of aftermarket modifications you can do to these things. The community that's behind the Sportster is just huge. And you know, come to think of it, I don't know that I've ever done a test ride on an 883 Sportster. I know I did one on the Iron 1200. I did one on the 48 Special. I've test rode the 48s, but I don't think I've actually done a test ride video because I mean I owned an Iron 883. Yeah, I built it out. This is what it looked like when I bought it. Pretty much like this one, bone stock. This is what it looked like whenever I was done building it out, customizing it. So it's a super reliable platform. The Evo engine that is in this bike has been made since '84, I think is whenever they started implementing them. And they have been around for quite a while, had plenty of time to get any of the kinks out. They're just really super reliable. I never had any issues whenever I owned mine. You know, I've got a lot of friends that have these, you know, like Anna and Aaron have Sportsters. Aaron's got the 1200 Custom. Anna has an 883. And they're just, yeah, really super reliable engines, really reliable bikes. Every now and then people talk about Harley reliability or like hearing that the Sportster isn't reliable. I don't know, I've never had any issues or had any friends that have had like major issues with them. Coming to a stop, I'll show you guys here in terms of the ergonomics of the bike. I'm 5 foot 10 inches tall. Coming to a stop, it's real easy to flat foot this thing. I mean, that's coming to a stop. That's what it looks like. It's a really like considered a smaller bike, especially for Harley-Davidson, so it's, you know, real lightweight, not worried about like tipping it over or anything. Since it does have that skinny front tire, it makes it feel much more nimble in turns and such. Regarding controls, neutral, you got your indicator there, you've got your indicator for your high beam there as well, and then for your left signal indicator there also, as well as right signal. And then you've got your oil pressure light. Regarding the functionality of the selection switch here, so right now we have the odometer, which is basically like how many miles we have on the bike, 11. Press it once, it goes to trip A. Press it again, it goes to trip B. Press it again, it goes to the time. Press it again, it goes to gear/RPM. So it does have a gear indicator built in, and it shows you the RPM as well. And I'm pretty sure if we hit it again, it goes back around, yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that gear/RPM screen now. So yeah, the gauge up top here, you know, shows you miles per hour. And it does have a couple indicators within the gauge as well. Ooh, a little piece of grass, watch out for that. Yeah, these bikes are so fun, man. I absolutely love the Sportster. There haven't been a ton of changes to this bike in the last couple years. I know that they've changed the wiring harness a bit, but I mean overall, the platform has been the same for quite a while. And it's because it's one of those things, it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there's so many things you can do to this bike in terms of aftermarket. That is one of the huge selling points, in my opinion. Like, I've seen people make these into cafe racers, into bobbers, into choppers, just all sorts of stuff. You can make them into, you know, like dirt trackers. If you Google Battle of the Kings, there's like a yearly build-off where people take a Sportster, they'll build it out and yeah, see what they can come up with, and there's really sick stuff. I would highly recommend looking it up. Now this is going to be Harley-Davidson's, like one of their more entry-level motorcycles in terms of affordability and power. Further talking about ergonomics, especially, you know, talking about newer riders and such. So you have mid controls on this one. So like I said, I'm 5 foot 10 inches tall. So yeah, in terms of the ergonomics, mid controls, this is how I'm setting on it. It gives you the feeling that you have more control over the bike with your legs on mids versus having forward controls. So say like the 48, it comes with forward controls. So forward controls are going to be more comfortable if you're doing distance, right? But mid controls, they give you the feeling that you know, you can toss the bike around more. It just gives you this, I don't know, feeling that you've got more control of the bike for some reason. But forwards, you know, they're going to be more up here. It's going to be better for distance because your legs aren't going to feel as cramped up. So yeah, like I said, I'm 5 foot 10 inches tall. You know, looking down, that's where my legs set. I don't feel like super cramped up. Like I rode a Sportster, like an Iron 883 for almost a year, you know, and I didn't really have any issues. I mean, you just get used to it. But my biggest piece of advice is, you know, I know a ton of you guys out there are going to ask, do you think this bike will fit me? Dude, the best thing you can do is go to the dealership and sit on the bike to see if it fits you. Have somebody take your picture while sitting on it, look at how you look on it. I mean, if you're 6 foot something, you can probably get away with it, you know. Like if you feel cramped up, throw some forwards on it. Buddy, the lean angle not that good. So the braking, it doesn't feel bad. It's a pretty lightweight bike, so shouldn't have too much issue with, you know, braking, especially applying it evenly. In terms of shifting the bike, it feels really super nice. So like whenever you shift, it's a very positive, you know, I've been pretty much saying this for any of the new bikes that Harley's coming out with, but it's a very, damn it, I can't think of the word. What's the word? It's a very like positive click, you know, both down and up. So whenever you know, shift into first, very positive. What's up, man? People always look at the Iron. It's a great looking bike. That was one thing I used to get a lot whenever I had mine. Like people would always be stopping and looking. That's a good feeling though, you know? People like the bike. But yeah, so shifting up and down, it feels really good. Overall, this is a really solid platform. If you guys like to, you know, work on bikes, customize them out, like this is a great one for that. Tons of community for it, tons of aftermarket options. I mean, you can relocate this gauge to the side. You've got different brackets and stuff for the gauges. You can, I mean, obviously different bars, different grips. They've got tanks that you can buy that are different. You know, chop the fender, tons of different seat options, tons of different peg options. Saw a thing that basically called it like Barbie dolls for men, all the accessories that you can buy. In terms of like engine heat on these, man, it's non-existent, especially as compared to like some of the bigger V-twins, like my 110 cubic inch lowrider S. Like that thing just gets blazing hot. But this, yeah, I mean, the engine's not like too big that it's gonna start burning your leg off. Obviously it's air cooled, so it's not meant for stop and go traffic. It's more meant for go. And finding neutral, not that difficult. I know in some of the Harleys it is. Yeah, overall, like I said, it's a solid platform. I like the Sportsters a lot. I'm a big advocate for them. It's funny, I was talking to this guy and he was saying that he was wanting to buy a Harley, and he's like, but you know, I'm not looking to spend like 15 grand. I was like, oh, you can buy a Sportster for cheaper than that. And he was like, yeah, but then people make fun of you. I'm like I'm like, dude, you shouldn't let what other people think dictate what you ride or what you can have fun on, you know? Like, that's one of the things I got a lot whenever I only had the Iron 883 is people were like, congrats on your girl's bike, blah, 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 blah. Let me just say, that shows more about their insecurities than it does you riding a motorcycle, you know? Like, I love the Sportster, man. It's a great bike. Will I own another one? Yeah, we actually currently own one. We own a Sportster 48. That's Miss Blockhead's bike, and it's freaking awesome. People love that bike. Is that a girl's bike? Yeah, she owns it. It's a girl's bike, but I also owned one too. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Whatever you own, whatever you ride, dude, just own it, man. Don't let other people, like, talking it down dictate whether you enjoy it or not. Because like I said, if somebody comments and says, yeah, that's a girl's bike, that shows more about their insecurities than it does anything. Like I said, I've got the, 2017 Dyna Lowrider S, like freaking 110 cubic inch. It's a big old bike, but then I've also got a 125cc Honda Grom. I have fun on both of them. It doesn't matter what you ride. Ride what you're comfortable with. Ride what you like. Anyways, that's getting off on another tangent, though. I've made videos talking about, is the Iron 883 a girl's bike? No, it is not. It can be if a girl buys it, but dude, this bike is made for everybody, man. It is a great bike. I've got a lot of love for the Sportster, and I highly recommend it. Is there anything I dislike about this bike? Not really. I don't think there's anything that I can think of that I don't like. If I say, like, the power, I mean, that would just be kind of silly. Because, like, I know it's a, Michael. Yeah, because I know it's an 883. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really complain about, like, if you're buying it for an 883, that's what you're buying it for, If you want more power, go with the 1200, go with the 48. Downside to the 48, has a smaller tank. That is one of the big things that people like about this bike, is that it has a larger tank. Gets you some further distance, holds about a gallon more than a Sportster 48. But man, I like these things a lot because, they're small, easily maneuverable, lots you can do to them in terms of aftermarket, and super reliable. Definitely gets my thumbs up, my vote, but you guys should already know that, especially since the channel is called Blockhead Moto. Anyways, they are a little busy lining up bikes out here at Orlando Harley-Davidson, getting ready for, whoa, Dragonfly, getting ready for Chrome coming, which is an event where they're basically displaying all the new 2019s. Guess if you guys are in the area, be sure to come out and check it out. Bip, bip. Overall thoughts, impressions, I like it a lot. It's a great bike, would highly recommend it. You guys be sure to come check one out. If you guys come out here, be sure to hit up Ron here at Orlando Harley-Davidson. So yeah, you guys be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of the Harley-Davidson Sportster, the Iron 883 specifically. Yeah, big thanks once again to Orlando Harley for letting me do some test rides on the new 2019s. Much appreciated. If you guys have any questions on it, be sure to post them up down in the comments below. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, my boy Ron here is on YouTube, and he goes through and he skims through comments and stuff, so very smart when it comes to these bikes in terms of tech specs, accessories, and all that stuff. So big thanks to Aaron. I'll drop his link down in the description below as well to Instagram, which is instagram.com/ohd_Aaron. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. If you guys aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, y'all ride safe out there. Stay vigilant. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.